and welcome to Inside Clips presented by Royal Purple for Wednesday, November 25th. I'm Lorette Nickel. First of all, I just wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you for spending your time with us here at Inside Clips. And this will be our last official show of the 2020 season. We may be checking in from time to time, but we'll cease our weekly episodes as we get ready for 2021. Most of us haven't even caught our breath yet from the final round of Pro and Pro 2 just a few days ago at Irwindale Speedway. It was a fantastic way to end such a challenging season, but at the same time, it was an incredible feeling of elation as the whole series came together to make it happen. First to the broadcast, we saw three dear friends join us live. Friday, it was two-time champion Tanner Faust. Saturday, Robbie Nishida, and Sunday, three-time champ James Dean. Irwindale always has little surprises for us, and it was so good to hear from those guys, get their take on this year's events, and catch up with their lives. When we got to the venue, we saw that the track layout had changed, and that at night, the entire track was decked out with Type S LED lights, as well as seasonal Christmas lights, which made for a really wonderful and beautiful environment at the venue. An old layout from years past, Irwindale 2020 challenged drivers to make a right hook past the light pole. It gave drivers something more to work with and made the competition even more exciting. As we began the event, the first round of Pro kicked off. From the start, it looked like Frederick Osbo was going to make a run for it. He was fairly dominant, taking a brand new motor built with 150 more horsepower to the limits to even get past series leader Von Gittin Jr. in the final four. Gittin would hold on to his lead because Ryan Turk went hard into the wall on his lead run against Travis Reeder, taking himself and the car out of competition. Thankfully for Turk, with Osbo doing damage to limit Gittin's lead, Turk still had a shot going into round 8. Other standout performances were Michael Essa, who battled all the way to the finals. It was his second podium of the season, and even with a battled and bruised car, he looked tremendous. From outside the top three, Chelsea Denofa picked up the pace and landed himself a third place position, displaying his style and aggressive driving. We were so bummed to hear that Chris Forsberg popped an engine in Thursday practice and didn't have a backup engine ready. That put the three-time champ in a tough position. He ran back to his shop, got his demo car, and instead of putting himself and his competitors at risk by using a massively underpowered car, he decided the right thing to do was take his bye run and then park the car and sit out round 7. Total bummer, but a true spirit of drifting move by Chris Forsberg Racing. And then we turn back to Osbo, who ended up winning round 7, beating Essa in the finals. The win by Osbo would cement his chance to take the championship going into round 8. Or would it? Right after the event, Osbo popped his motor doing burnouts, and that left him and his team scraping to fix the car for Sunday. Now we turn our attention to Pro 2. Jonathan Hurst had come on strong in Texas and took over the lead from Dmitry Brutsky. He was supposed to win the championship, but that was until he met Nick Novak, who went on an absolute tear in the final round. Hurst, who's been so consistent this year, was not able to deal with the growing power of Novak and was knocked out in top 32. Now, things just got real interesting. Brutsky is drawn a bye and was set to head right into the grade 8 because there were quite a few competitors that didn't make the last round. With Novak's momentum, he was able to slam through the field and make it all the way to the finals, besting number 2 in points, Josh Love, and Blake Olson along the way. And with Brutsky looking good to take the championship, he then met with another advancing driver, Steve Misko. Misko did the impossible and beat Brutsky handily by speed and massive proximity. Now Brutsky was in a tough position as he had to wait on the sidelines to find out his fate. What Brutsky didn't expect by losing to Misko is now the door was open for Blake Olson to run the table and win the championship by winning the event. But you now know that Olson was defeated by Novak, and in that moment, Brutsky captured the title. With the championship now in the background, we turn to the event win. Power, Hoffman, Misko, and Novak would make the final 4. Novak would beat Misko, and Power would beat Hoffman. Hoffman went on to 3rd, celebrating his first podium of the season. In the final, Mike Power would finally put the end to the surge of Novak. In an emotional moment, Power would set the tone for all up-and-coming drivers with his win because his run put both him and Novak in the top 8 standings, granting them a pro license. Congrats, you guys, that's awesome stuff. Here's a look at the 2020 standings. Okay, here we go. Pro Type S final fight, round number 8. Gittin, Turk, Osbo, they are your title contenders. Denofa and Forsberg have a small but outside chance. Unlike years past, this championship was decided fast and anticlimactically because of carnage to both Turk and Osbo. Osbo in his first battle slammed into the big bank, wrecking the car and putting himself out of competition. And for Ryan Turk, he seemed to make a driver's error by allowing himself to get gapped by Jonathan Niren in the top 16, and then he pushed hard in the inner bank. He missed the momentum zone and crashed into Niren, which took him out of competition. In that moment, it happened so fast, Vaughn was watching on the sidelines and it seemed as if he didn't know the result. When he found out Turk lost and he won the championship, he swelled with a big smile and elation. After 17 years in the sport and 10 years since he first won his first championship, he was now the best drifter in the series for 2020. It was a big moment for him and his family, as well as all of the RTR team. Once the championship was decided, we turned our attention to the event itself to see how it would play out. With Osbo and Turk out, Gittin and Denofa could make the finals together. But that dream would be stopped by none other than Odi Bakchis, who buckled down and returned to glory. He first beat Chris Forsberg, who was in Matt Field's old comp car, and then Odi went on to beat Gittin, smashing the chance of a final with Denofa. Denofa made good of his promise to get to the finals as he got through Charpentier, Niren, and Essa to win his side of the bracket. Odi would take out a surging Justin Pollock to make the finals against Denofa. Denofa, with a berth into the finals, would jump 2 spots and clinch second place in the championship. As we entered the finals, Odi was just unstoppable, and he did something he's never done before. Podiumed and won Irwindale. Crazy incredible night with so many memories. In the end, it was Bakchis in first, Denofa in second, and Pollock in third. As we take a look at the season standings with some notable performances, not only this weekend, but throughout the season, were Taylor Hull and Jeff Jones, who both broke into the top 10. For Jones, he continues to charm the entire drifting community with his undying smile and his wily and heartfelt performances. In the end, he would challenge for a podium 2 times this year, just coming up a little bit short, but it was no less awesome for us to watch. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to my Formula Drift family, friends, and all the drivers for allowing me to tell your stories. And to all the fans, thank you for your support to the drivers in sport in this very challenging year. Your undying support for all things drift kept us going. Love you all and see you in 2021.